Hey folks, Lever here once again. Welcome back to another review, another video. Hope you enjoyed my revisit review of Spider-Man 2002. It's on my channel right now if y'all check that out. And again, this is my new channel. I know I have to say it a lot of times, but I just don't want people to forget or to subscribe again. Um, if it wants to pop up, that is, damn thing. Yeah, this is my new channel, so make sure you subscribe to this one. And when you do, don't know if you folks notice. Sure, it's here though. There should be a bell in here somewhere where it notifies you when I upload a review or a video or something like that. So that way you'll know when I upload a video on my channel. Anyway, I've been on the 2000s era of superhero movies that have come out from 2000 to 2009. And now I'm on the year 2003. I did review Blade 2 and review Spider-Man 2002. So now we're on the year 2003 because this movie came out on Valentine's Day, 2003. 21-year-old movie now. And that is starring Ben Affleck, directed by Mark Steven Johnson. It stars Ben Affleck, Jennifer Gardner, Colin Farrell, uh, Clark Duncan, David Keith, Joe Palantio. I can't say his name right, but and that is Daredevil, 2003. Yeah, I love this movie. This is the theatrical version. I know there's a director's cut. I'm going to be reviewing the director's cut probably a little after today, but I've always loved this version too. The director's cut, I will say, is better, but this is a good version too. Hey, it even got two thumbs up from, if you can't see on top of here, from Ebert and Roper. That is Kingpin, and on the front cover that is Elektra and Daredevil, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Gardner, who I believe actually got married right after this movie. And the other two are Bullseye and Kingpin, that is played by the late Mark Duncan and Colin Farrell, who plays Bullseye. Pretty cool pictures here. If we got a booklet here, this is a widescreen edition. You got special features. You got two discs here. A bit of a making of behind the scenes of the movie. This is this one of Daredevil, and this two special features with Elektra. I've had this movie since I was a kid. I mean, yeah, I kind of grew up watching this movie, so it is nostalgia for me. Right, that's why I like it so much. I know this movie doesn't get well loved, especially the theatrical version, but I've always felt both versions, especially the director's cut. I think the film is entirely just underrated, no matter which version you watch. It's definitely an underrated movie. This is a booklet. I do remember when this movie came out, seeing some pictures of the characters and stuff. Yeah. This is just scene selections. Yeah, for the chapters you can go through, just one and two. A little bit of pictures here. Pictures of the Daredevil sign and Kingpin, Daredevil himself, Daredevil fighting Bullseye in the church, and Bullseye, and of course that picture right there, Lecture, pictures of the characters. So pretty cool booklet to have. I think I had another picture in here of it somewhere, but maybe I threw it away a long time ago. But this is the theatrical version of Daredevil, and of course this is Marvel. Daredevil is a Marvel character, so I'll talk about him really quick. Might as well. Daredevil is Matt Murdock. He's a blind lawyer. His origins stem from childhood. A chemical accident gave him special abilities. While growing up in the history of pretty requirement of working class Irish American Hell's Kitchen in New York City, Matt Murdock is blinded by a radioactive substance that falls from an out of control truck. After he pushes a man into the path of the oncoming vehicle. But he can no longer see. He exposes to the radioactive heightens his remaining senses beyond normal human ability and gives him a radar sense. His father is a boxer named Jack Murdock, or Jack the Devil Murdoch, you know, in the boxing world, raising his now blind son, who, despite his rough upbringing, continuously loves his son, tries to teach him to form a better life for himself. Jack is later killed by gangsters after refusing to throw a fight, leaving Matt an orphan. To protect himself, Matt begins training to hone his physical abilities and superhuman senses. Under the mysterious blind stranger named Stick, he eventually becoming a highly skilled and expert martial artist. Some years later, at graduating from law school, Matt seeks out the criminal element in Hell's Kitchen and starts his crime-fighting activities. Matt targets a local gangster who murdered his father, and he brings him to justice. Even though in here it's Kingpin who does it, he becomes known as Daredevil, the man without fear, which puts him in conflict with many villains, including Bullseye and Kingpin. He did, you know, he debuted in Marvel Comics in April 1964, created by writer editor Stan Lee and artist by Edward. Design input from Jack Kirby, who devised Daredevil's Billy Club, his baton, whatever you want to call it. At first, Stan Lee thought that people would be insulted by it, though, but Stan Lee said to create the character of Daredevil, you know, sorry, I thought I was messed up there for a little bit. But to create Daredevil, he thought people would be offended because it was handicapped, but it was a blind school, whatever. They appreciated it, yeah, yeah. The Daredevil, he does have this ability that he has these four senses: smell, touch, something like that, or it's a radar sense where he can see differently than we do. He was worried that blind people would be offended the way blind persons' remaining senses are. But the fears were put to rest from letter when he got fan mail from organizations as the Lighthouse of the Blind, who said that the blind people rarely enjoyed having Daredevil comics read to them. Daredevil's weakness is to powerful sounds or vibrations that are too loud that can weaken him. He can also tell when a person's lying. So Daredevil's like a human lie detector. His baton, his billy club, which he created, is his weapon. He disguises it as a blind man's cane. He's attorney by day, vigilante by night. But anyway, enough on the character of Daredevil. You should know about the character if you're a fan of Marvel. But for the production of this movie is that in 1997, 20th Century Fox optioned the film rights of the character Daredevil from Marvel Comics, and Chris Columbus was set to direct the film adaptation. Chris Columbus, the same guy who directed the Home Alone movies and Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't know if that would have worked. Probably could have, but he was set to direct the film adaptation. In 1998, Marvel was film facing bankruptcy. During the time, 20th Century Fox allowed the option to expire, so Disney, who later went to purchase the Marvel's rights to all of his property in 2012. Now, Daredevil was in a Marvel movie before this. He was in Charlie the Incredible Hulk, played by a different actor, of course, along with Bill Bixby. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he's played by Rex Smith in Charlie the Incredible Hulk. In 1999, negotiations failed to work out, so Marvel sent the project up to Columbia Pictures. During this time, Columbus and Carlos co-wrote a script together before Mark Stevenson Johnson got assigned to write the screenplay. I think he might have directed another Marvel movie. He directed Jack Frost, Grumpy Old Men, Simon Bridge, Christopher Robin. Oh, he also worked on another Marvel movie. Or that was Ghost Rider, starring Nicolas Cage. That's another Marvel film. By 2000, Columbia decided to cancel the project as the two companies reportedly could not come to an agreement. Lou Regency entered negotiations with a more satisfying offer, attaining the character rights than Marvel in 2000. To produce the film with 26th Century Fox and distribution, Robert Steven Johnson was rehired and the script was turned enduring Harry in 2001. Prior to shooting, producer Gary Foster said that in comparison to the other comic book based films before it, the film will be more character driven, darker, edgier. Marvel Studios executive Kevin Feige felt the script was one of the strongest Marvel ever seen. 20th Century Fox raised the budget for the film after the success of Spider-Man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, which was the last Marvel movie to come out at that time. And this is way before the MCU even existed. Filming began though in March 2002. Fox wanted to start filming in Canada in order to save money. The plan was to, by Johnson, film's Gloria Harrison Ford after they found a preferred area for shooting the film. Arcade building, coordinate. Yeah, sorry. The studio's choice for the filming in Vancouver due to their interest, coupled with Ben Affleck's disinterest in filming in Canada. After having filmed there for previous film, The Summer of Heroes, they were able to change the studios. There was a Guardian Devil graphic, which they kind of used in this movie. This picture was from the comics. That's right in the beginning of the movie, when the movie starts off. But anyway, when the look of the film was being decided, Mark Steven Johnson opted to use direct scenes from Daredevil comics. Joe was already take on Guardian Devil, but the influence on the film, Johnson noticing that they would literally take out a scene from the comic book that Joe did. Here's Daredevil on the cross. You notice that scene from Guardian Devil, you just shoot that. Throughout the film, Ben Affleck had to wear cushion milky blue contacts, which would eventually make him blind. This was considered great by Johnson, as it would be his performance. The sound plays from the film as super relies on his order from his own sonoro sense. Post production sound was done by supervising sound John Larson and sound designer Steve Lucker, and his heart ticking immediately after Matt's nerve is seen mutating. The mutating of the nerve was done by Rhythm Hughes studies, who also worked on the sonar since we became referred to as the Shadow World. Shadow World was made just CGI except in a scene where Elisha and Matt Murdock are in the ring, which was done using CGI over film. Uh, the movie does have, there is a, if you watch it on YouTube, there was a soundtrack commercial for it. There's songs like Bring Me to Life, My Immortality, My Immortal, Won't Back Down by Fuel for You. You know, you get that song, Wake Me Up right now. You know, it was Graham Monroe who did the soundtrack for the movie. Uh, the movie also had a video game. Yeah, that's based on the character. Um, it was on Game Boy Advance. He plays Daredevil. Six supporting as a supporting character. I guess you fight bad guys. It's kind of a beat 'em up game, I guess you could say. Yeah, never really played it. I looked up at the graphics of it, and it doesn't look like it holds up. So yeah, these are the films of violent scenes. The film censorship banned Daredevil in that country. Yeah, some critics call the film boring, which I disagree with. Roger gave the film their called it the film good, despite nothing the almost terrible superhero background. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Warren were suitable for the roles. Mark Clark Duncan's presence alone was menacing. One critic says it was dark as Tim Burton's Batman. I do agree with that. And one critic said that he found it more enjoyable than Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man. Well, let's talk about the movie a little bit. From what I've watched behind the scenes, though, is that for the casting, Ben Affleck was able to get a part. I forget how, but well, I'm sure his status as an actor because he was a great actor. Ben Affleck is a great. I think that Ben Affleck is definitely an underrated actor, in my opinion. He's been a good actor. He can do a good movie. Just watch Good Will Hunting. You know, he wrote the help. Him and Matt Damon wrote the script for that movie. You know, so they did make an excellent film, and they did win the Academy Award for it. So can't say Ben Affleck's an awful actor completely because he's done a lot of good movies, including Daredevil, but definitely an underrated role. Now he would go on also to play another superhero that was Batman. He would be the next Batman after Christian Bale in Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice and some of the DCU movies. Not anymore, sadly, because they don't. Those films probably won't happen no more. They won't. Anyway, I think the role, Matt Murdock, of course, he had to exercise. He had to learn how to use the baton and all that stuff. If you see behind the scenes here, a lot of the actors they had to as they're fighting, they had to do screen tests for the character for the actors, and he had to pretend to be blind. He had to like a blind person, and making Affleck wear that for the mask. You see him wearing the stuff he wears for the mask, probably to make sure he can't see because to get him into the character, because Daredevil is blind, so he's got to actually be sure. I think he did a good job at that, in my opinion. For Elektra, though, Elektra Nachios, Jennifer Gardner, she had to protect. She had to practice with the katans, a lot. Uh, the, Colin Farrell bullseye. He had to get a bullseye tattooed on his forehead, of which you probably can't see here, but it's a bullseye tattooed on his head here. Yeah, he had to get that tapped in. Michael Clark Duncan is a big man, but he was asked for the film. He was asked to gain a few more pounds for the role of Kingpin. Yeah, so just mentioning that up. I think the reason the movie has a director's cut, I think the movie was rated R. I guess it got a PG. This is my guess. People complain about the film being dark because, to me, Daredevil is a dark character. He has a disturbing background. He's blind. His father was brutally murdered. And he wants revenge. He wants vengeance. He wants justice, but he does it in a brutal way. I'm not saying I don't think Daredevil, no, Daredevil, I don't think kills like Deadpool would. But he is dark, and he does give a beating to his to his enemies. Yeah, he gives you a badass beating. Unlike Spider-Man, who would choke around or web you, that's just one just web you, joke around. Daredevil will pound you to death, or beat the crap out of you. So that's what I think that makes the character dark. I think Mark Steven Johnson took inspiration from Tim Burton's Batman, and for an origin story, he probably took inspiration from Superman the movie. Superman the movie. That's why you have a lot of origin stories for superhero movies, is because of Superman the movie, because that had a great origin story. So therefore, they just try to give you an origin story to get you invested into the character, you know. But I think what happened was when it came out, the studio probably said no. 20th Century Fox said no. We need to cut the movie down a bit. I think that's what happened. They made them cut the movie down to a PG-13 rating. So there was a lot. That's why I gave director's cut because the director's cut is probably the true version of the movie. It's just that they said no. We need to cut down. Here's the thing: because Spider-Man came out before, and like I said, there was a time where Marvel in the '80s flopping with the three Incredible Hulk TV movies. The last one, Death Incredible Hulk, was very disappointing. But then you had Howard the Duck and the Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, but just underrated movie as hell. Underrated movie too. But those films were just flops, and then Captain America 1990. So you had a lot of Marvel movies that were flopping until you got Blade 1998, which was successful. Then that got to X-Men. Then that got to Spider-Man, and then it got to this Daredevil. So thank goodness for Spider-Man because then you got Daredevil, and that's why you know, you got Spider-Man 2, Blade Trinity. Hulk also came out this year. And so I feel different about that movie, but that's more on that down the road. Then in 2005, you would get Fantastic Four, you know, and then the sequel in 2007. So yeah, but I think just because of the success of Spider-Man and because X-Men and Spider-Man were successful at the box office because they made money, they probably thought, well, it should be PG-13 because that will be a hit more money. That's just the way they see it. I'm not saying the film won't be successful because of the rating, no, but that's just the way the studio sees it. That's just my opinion on that. This is my thoughts on that. And I heard Jennifer Garner is set to reprise her role as Elektra in the MCU film Deadpool and Wolverine. I definitely can't wait to see that. They did have a spin-off film Elektra, which I thought sucked. More on that down the road. Yeah, that was Marvel too. That came out in 2005 as well. Anyway, for the cast, you have Ben Affleck as Matt Murdock Devil, as Ben Affleck as Matt Murdock Daredevil, who's blind attorney, who's blind as youth, and he's Daredevil. And Ben Affleck for the part also read every issue of Daredevil. Affleck said that Daredevil was his favorite comic book when he was a child, and that's why he took the role. Scott Terry plays the young Matt Murdock. Jennifer Gardner plays Electra Nachios, the daughter of billionaire Nicholas Nacho. She becomes an assassin, and she's the love interest of Matt Murdock. Gardner said the costume would be different because it's a red costume he has. Colin Farrell plays Bullseye, you know, who's an assassin with his name is able to always hit his target. He's a very skilled one. Farrell read the Frank Miller's Daredevil comics to understand Bullseye. Michael Clark Duncan plays Wilson Fisk, Kingpin. He was asked to gain 40 pounds for the role in order to fit the physique of Kingpin. In order to do this, he would lift weights for 30 minutes a day and powerlifted 1 or 2 reps a day, as well as eating whatever he wanted. Duncan's biggest concern was that he was black. People did complain then, but you know what? Who gives a crap? Michael Clark Duncan, he's a great Kingpin. I don't care what nobody says. May he rest in peace. Who cares if he's black? Why does that have to matter? Yeah. John Favreau plays Franklin Foggy Nelson. John Favreau, this was not his last time working with Marvel. John Favreau will go on to direct Iron Man. And because of him, and Marvel, and mainly because of him too, John Favreau, we got the MCU when he directed Iron Man in 2008. That was many years later before this. John Patilio as Ben Urch. I know he's been in a few things. He was in the TV show The Sopranos as Ralphie. He was in Baby's Day Out. That movie turned 30, I think, this month. He was in The Goonies. He was in Bad Boys, and I think the new one too, and The Fugitive, and the spinoff of U.S. Marshals. So yeah, really good actor. He was also in Congo too, but great actor. David Keith plays Jack Murdock, the father of Matt Murdock. Sure, the guy's been in a lot of movies. Leonard Usher as Wesley, the number two of Wilson Fisk, kind of like his assistant, I guess you can say. I think he wasn't taken. Hmm. He was okay, and 2 and 3 as well. Leonard Lofts as Detective Newt Mallinson, Eric Avery as Nicholas Nacho. I remember him in Well, I've never seen Stargate. Sorry, he was in The Mummy and he was in Independence Day and in Encino Man. Saying to Punisher, "No, no, squeeze the juice." Yeah, yeah. He was in Home Alone 4. Oh gosh, yeah. Don't remind me of that awful film. Paul Blart Mall Cop. He was in that. Ellen Pompeo as Karen Page. Eric O'Connor as Father Efford. Stan Lee has a cameo in the movie. Frank Miller does too, and so does Kevin Smith. He's noted for the works in the Daredevil comics. I think Frank Miller also worked on some of the RoboCop comics. Also had a cameo in RoboCop 2. I think Frank Miller's character, he's the guy that that bullseye hits in the head, that he steals the bike. I think that's and Stan Lee's an old man walking, who Matt Murdock sees and stops him from walking in traffic. Kevin Smith plays like a doctor or whatever. It shows Joe Benarch the Daredevil's weapon, baton, Billy Club. Sorry. Kane Otter makes an appearance as Fallen. Okay, I knew that was Kane Otter. Freaking knew it. Kane Otter is the man who played Jason Voorhees in some of the Friday the 13th movies. I never noticed that until I started getting into the Friday the 13th franchise. Because when he was with the actor who plays Fallon, I'm like, wait a minute, is that Kane Otter? Is that him? Is that him? And now I know. So never knew he had came. Never knew that. But anyway, the film is sorry, I can't even speak. The film is directed by Mark Steven Johnson, who will also go and direct another Marvel movie, like I said, Ghost Rider, starring Nicolas Cage. Okay. Screenplay by he has the screenplay is based on Daredevil, written by Stanley and Bill Everett, produced by Aaron Malech, Gray Foster, Heavy Alvord. Cinematography is by Eric Sincor. He did some of the several films for on another Ben Affleck movie called No, not Ben Affleck. It was Mel Gibson. He did cinematography for a Mel Gibson movie called Payback and some of the Fast and Furious movies. Well, the first one, and Point Break. Edited by Dennis Werkler, who's done editing. Oh, not that kind of movie. Okay. He did the editing for The Fugitive, Under Siege. So he worked with the director Andrew Davis. He made those movies. He did the editing for Batman Forever. Yeah, he did. Okay. And Batman and Robin. Into the Blue, that was a late Paul Walker movie that Paul Walker starred in. And Shark Night. Music is by Graham Reville. Let me see. I think he might have done some other superhero scores. Okay, yeah, he did the music over Child's Play 2. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Oh, he did the music for that too. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. Tank Girl, another superhero movie. He did the music score for The Crow. Yeah, I know I mentioned Graham Reville's name a few times, but he did the music for Hard Target, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, a John Woo film. He did the music score for other superhero films like I just mentioned, The Crow, Tank Girl. Yeah, Tank Girl. Okay, yeah, Tank Girl. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. From Dusk Till Dawn, not a super movie. The Crow, City of Angels. He did the music score for Spawn. At least his score is one of the best parts of that movie, in my opinion. Let's see. Did he do anything after Daredevil or before? Let's see, after Daredevil. Adventures of Sharkboy and Lava Girl. If you kind of want to call it, yeah, that's a superhero adventure film, so, sadly. Yeah, so not much after that. Production companies Marvel Enterprise, Too Great to See. It's distributed by 20th Century Fox. It was released February 14th, 2003. It's 103 minutes long. The budget was $78 million, and at the box office made $179.2 million worldwide. So the film was still successful. Then they released a rated R director's cut of it, which put 30 minutes back in the film. Ben Affleck shot a cameo role for the spin-off Elektra at the request of Jennifer Gardner, but it was cut from the film. It was in a deleted scene. If you have Elektra on DVD or whatever, or you can probably find it on YouTube. Michael Clark Duncan didn't want to come back for the role of Kingpin, but said that he would not be willing to gain weight as he felt uncomfortable being down to 270 pounds. He jokingly said, "Well, I would do it for $20 million." Duncan sadly died in 2012, which is sad. Yeah, yeah. Then they got the Daredevil TV show on Netflix, which I really don't have much interest in seeing, but that's just me. I'm just happy to have the theatrical version of Daredevil and the director's cut. And Daredevil vs. Spider-Man. That makes me happy. I just want Daredevil to have a movie and through a TV series. I just want a movie. But anyway, the story of the movie is that attorney Matt Murdock is blind, but his other four senses self-function with superhuman sharpness. By day, Murdock represents the downtrodden as a lawyer, you know. At night, he is Daredevil, a mass vigilante, a relentless avenger of justice. When Wilson Fisk hires Bullseye to kill Daredevil, and he also hires him to kill Daredevil, Murdock must rely on his own senses and search out the conspirators against justice. This may include his own girlfriend, Electra Nachios. Yeah. All right. Talk about the movie itself. All right. We could talk about Daredevil for 30 minutes. Okay. Sorry for taking so long. Probably got good audio here and it won't stop or anything. Or anyway, so getting into Daredevil, the film opens up with some nice music, a nice musical by Grand Reveal, and I like dark. I really love the music score. It's very memorable in my opinion. You know, you could just listen to the score and just makes you think of this movie. The score is fantastic by Grand Reveal. Nice opening credits. Then you get the scene where the church. I mean, the film opens up being dark, and the music score is that. You get to a church. That's when you get the Guardian Devil, the Daredevil hanging on the cross from the comics, and him, you know, falling into the church, trying to, I guess, practice with his baton, his billy club, which has a rope that comes out of it that can allow him to like grapple to stuff. Kind of helps him fly. Daredevil can't fly, but it helps him grapple to stuff. But he falls. He's been injured, and the father, the priest, comes to him and is like, "This Matthew, Matthew, you okay?" Oh, he takes his mask off, and you see green eyes out of his blindness. He's like, some people say your life flashes before your eyes. It's true, even for a blind man. Tells him about narrates history, and as a child, Matt Murdock grows up in the slums of Hell's Kitchen. You know, they're not rich; they're the poor, basically, and yeah, or but Matt's got to deal with these bullies who beat him up. Tell him his father's way. He's like, my dad's gonna be champ. Your dad ain't gonna be nothing. He's like, hit me, punk, hit me. And Matt runs away. Goes take care of his dad who's sleeping. He's like, who won the fight? And his dad tells him, I don't want you fighting. You become a lawyer, doctor, something like that. I don't want you to be like me. His father, Jack Murdoch, is Jack the Devil Murdoch. He's a boxer. He wants Matt to make something of himself. You see Matt just sitting on top of the roof, staring at the moon, just staring outside, and then you get to the next scene the next day where the last thing you ever see, he sees his dad beating up a guy for money, and he drops the report card which he made all A's from school. And his best friend says like, Matt, no, I'm sorry. And apparently Matt runs to this truck and he gets, toxic waste comes out of it, chemicals come out of it, gets into his eye and blinds him. Matt wakes up in the hospital. He has these sonar senses. It's like kind of like super hearing for him, one of his radar senses. And he's scared. He's like, oh, even a little sound, even a little drop of water affect his ear. And his dad comes in there later. Jack Murdoch says, I'm sorry, Matt. And he's like, it's okay, Dad. They make a promise to never give up, to stay up for the long shots that can't, to be there for each other. He does realize that he does have those four senses, his superhuman accuracy, but he doesn't realize that till later. So him and his dad practicing boxing, him learning how to read, being blind. Matt gets mad because he can't read the book, so he throws it at the punching bag. Then he's like, sees the punching bag, he's like, he's supposed to see it, and he starts punching the bag. Thought that was funny. It's a comic book movie. You got to have a little sense of humor in there. he used to train his body. You see him in the city, rolling down on a pole just from down a building, sliding down to like garbage or whatever, just for fun. And he beats up the guys that are mean to him. He's like, hey, fun, whatever. They're like, can you see? They mock him. He's like, with his cape, okay. Knocks him out. And then, one kid's like, ah, and knocks him down. And he kicks one guy. He's like this. But one night he works with Fallon. Fallon is a mobster who also, by the way, has Wilson Fisk and his employee who works for him. Wilson Fisk would go on to become the kingpin. Anyway, Fallon tells him, you work for me, you do work for me, and it's your turn. You gotta throw. He wants him to throw a fight, and his father tells, he's almost about to throw the fight, but he sees his son in there, Matt. He doesn't want to give up on Matt, but teaching him this lesson of not to give up, of never give up. And he doesn't. He says, anyway, he says, screw Fallon, and so he knocks the guy out. I guess basically just saying, screw you, Fallon. But unfortunately for Jack, it causes him trouble because later he gets brutally murdered. Yeah, he gets beaten up. Matt is waiting for his dad outside the ring. He hears he can't see it, but he can hear it because of his radar sense. He's like, Dad. Kingpin gets out. Well, it was Fisk at the time. Can't see him, just a shadow. Punches him out and murders him because he throws. Kingpin has this red rose when he kills somebody, throws their body, or this is his signature when he murders somebody. And you have the music going on. He's like, Dad, I can't see you. I can't see you. You know, he sees feels the flower, the red rose, and crushes it in his hand, cries. He's like, and then he vows to seek justice for those that nobody cared about, wash up fire that was dead, nobody but me, as he says. You know, you see Matt years later, growing up, he has to like sleep in a coffin that's got water in it. I guess because of the noises would aggravate him, he can't get sleep. That's the best way for him to get sleep. You see him get up, get ready for work for the day. He's a lawyer. Yeah. This lady who he's worked before, who's his client, that she was accusing this man of rape. I guess of raping her or something like that. Yeah. Well, he works with Foggy, who was played by John Favreau. The Matt's an adult, of course, and they're in court. He's, this guy named Mr. Zada. He plays this character. I don't know who, but Mr. Sada is the guy that raped this woman, Josie. He says that, and he can tell by the heartbeat. He said Daredevil's lie detector can tell that he's lying. And basically the guy gets away with it because of his money. Can't prove it in court. Prove that she is lying, but as Daredevil, he knows the truth. So he fights for the innocent. So he's like, nope, can't go party tonight. I gotta work tonight. Then you see him suit up his first time as Daredevil. I love the suit. I don't care what nobody says. I think the suit is awesome. Yeah, definitely a cool suit. You see him suiting up, fighting and practicing with the Billy Club. I thought that was awesome. When he's over the sea, he jumps down, see him fly down a little bit, then glide down, jump on these rails or whatever. These skylets, jump over skylet, and jump through the rooftops and finds Mr. Sasada, partying. And Daredevil sees him and is like, hey, and Daredevil, that's a super can hear him like, hey boss, that guy for real? Yeah, he's for real. Hey, what do you want? And Daredevil says, justice. He throws a big club in the guy's mouth. And Daredevil fights with the guy. My only issue with this is that some of the editing is a little choppy here. You do see some badasses where Daredevil, is kicking some ass, taking some guys out. He's using his billy club the rope on the billy club to fly up because he can hear that that the bad guys they're getting guns and their bullets out, and Daredevil can hear that. Radar incident tells him that. Runs for cover, you know, kicks a gun out of a guy's hand, knocks the guy out, punches him out. Cool music going on, and he sees Quesada trying to escape, and after he finishes the guys off, There's a cool line he says, but since the director is not here, unfortunately, then the fire starts between the pool tables, and Daredevil just walks through the fire. Thought I was running, Daredevil was chasing him. Daredevil sees him go down to the train, the subway station. Daredevil follows him there. He knows Casada's there with his gun, but the train comes by and he hears his senses. It's like, so his the rail with his baton, sneaks up on him, is able to use his really clever on him to choke us like this. Why? Daredevil says. Then the train comes by and Bruce is here and Casada's gonna try to shoot Daredevil in the head. Daredevil, is a little oh, and breaks his back. It's like this. And there's a train coming. He's like this. You see that light? It's not heaven. It's the sea train. He's like, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. And he gets hit by the train. Daredevil doesn't kill him, but totally lets him die. You know, later he goes to the father about it, to the priest about it. He's like, well, you talking about revenge? No, justice is one and the same. He's like, this is my justice, the only way I know how to do it. I kind of like it when the priest says, well, I don't like the costume, and man, just laugh. And later he's hanging out with Franklin, with Foggy, John Favreau. They talk about alligators in the sewers. That's just Daredevil exists. I'm like, you don't read that garbage. And Matt says something to him, make him mad. He's like, we have good clients, Well, we have clients that don't really pay us money. We need the money, Matt. That's owning a law firm. You can't just get stuff out of it. Anyway, Jennifer Garner works for the film, and she is gorgeous. I can't. Jennifer Garner is a beautiful woman. When she walks in for the first time, he could just tell how beautiful she is, not even looking. Even though when he says she's not, I thought she was trying not to go over there, Matt, and he does, but he tries to give Matt mustard, put in his coffee, but Matt, unnoticeably it's foggy, puts it there, puts it there. He drinks it later. It's funny, but he goes talk to the lecturer. Can you help me get the honey? He's like, why were you like that? Well, can you be more specific? He's like, what are you? Oh, blind? Oh, I'm sorry. He tells her like, he tells him, I'm Matt Murdock. He was like, you are well. I didn't can't give you my name. And she just walked away, and Matt goes to follow her. I know a lot of people complain about the playground scene, but I thought that was fun. Hey, they're forward playing in a way. They go to the playground, and the kids stare, they're like, oh, yeah. He's like, you sure you're blind? You sure you have a name? And they kind of, do a little wrestling with each other. Like, you should ask for my number. Just to have fun, flirting with each other in a way. That's the way of doing it. It's a comic book movie, so you can have a little fun here. It's not real life. It's not like two adults actually really go to a kid's playground and do this, I don't think. This is just a movie. But what's funny about it is they fight. This is a off guard. She gets him, she's like this. My name's Electra Nachios. And then we meet Kingpin, some good music. See Kingpin in his suit for the first time. And he talks to Electra's father. But the Fisk is not only Wilson Fisk is a philanthropist, a businessman, but secretly he is the Kingpin who controls the underworld figure that controls all of the city's organized crime. But he poses as a legit businessman. He just puts on that facade. But he's really running the criminal underworld. All the gangs and stuff he controls, all the crime he controls. Yeah. And a father, Nicholas, he's one of Fisk's lieutenant. Fisk lieutenant, I guess, works with Fisk. Nicholas Nachios is her father. So, he talks to Wilson. He says, I'm out, Wilson. No, I am out for good. Like, no one walks out on the kingpin. Yeah. Because I guess he knows about Wilson's businesses, knows all about his gangs, and Fisk can't just let him walk. Not like that. He's like, okay, here we go. He's like, how's your daughter, by the way? Then he decides to hire Bullseye. The first time we see Bullseye is in the bar shooting arrows at a dart. There's playing a dart game and hitting the bullseye by drinking a beer doing it. Here's a guy. He's like, "You garbage trash anyway." And Bullseye was it things. There's a and just but it's deadly. He's hits the guy in the throat with these needles, little needles, and it kills him. He's on an airplane, and this lady's talking. This old grandma was talking about her family or whatever, running her mouth about stuff, and Bullseye's noise of Bullseye comes out of the way and gets its needle, and hits her with it, and it's like, that was hilarious. Like, oh, she's sleeping. Anything? Can I get anything else for her? He's like, more peanuts, please. But then you see Daredevil the next night, seeing that abusive father's beating somebody up. Daredevil follows him and sees the shadow of Daredevil. Daredevil follows him, beats the crap out of the guy. He's like, he's like, it ain't true. This hell kitchen, it belongs to the Kingpin. Now he's like, no, it doesn't. And he beats the heck out of the guy. He's like, and Daredevil sees this kid. He's like, don't hurt me, please, don't hurt me, crying. And Daredevil's like, I'm not the bad guy, kid. As you see Daredevil standing in the rain on top of a rooftop, saying, I'm not the bad guy, am I? Well, next, next you see that Mad finds Elijah, I guess because of her scent, of his rare scent, he can tell it's her. And he brings her up to the building where, the rooftop where he was as a kid. And he's like, I swear, it's about to rain. I can tell. It does rain. And in the rain, she's beautiful. Not done any of that. They get romantic. They share a kiss. Matt hears somebody, that he has to go with Daredevil. Matt does have a hard time with relationships. I forgot to mention. After taking down the facade guy, the rich guy who raped the woman, after taking him down, you see his father's glove strike over, all his Daredevil equipment that he puts up. This lady calls him that he's been in a relationship with. Each relationship he's been in has failed because of him being Daredevil, I guess. Is that vow he made to seek justice. He tries to leave Electra, but Electra's like, no, you stay with me. Just stay with me. They kiss and they get a love scene. She invites Matt to this ball, the party that they're having. It's her date, as her plus one. And he says he doesn't accept first. He talks to Foggy, and Foggy thinks that we need to go there because of clients that we can have. But some of those clients are not innocent. They're people that are guilty, and Matt only wants to defend the innocent. That's what he does. You know, Foggy and Matt, they first start the ball, at the party. They speak to Ben Urch. Ben Urch realizes that Matt is Daredevil when he sees the white cane and sees the Daredevil sign on. Realizes that he might be Daredevil. I was like, call me sometime. Might be important. Then they talk to Kingpin. Well, Wilson Fisk is like, oh, Mr. Fisk, Mr. Fisk, He's like, the blind lord from Hell's Kitchen. Well, he's the blind one. And they said, we can represent you anytime you want. And, Matt says right away, no, we're not going to represent you. We only represent the innocent. People who are innocent. And Kingpin says, you know what I believe? Well, it says, nobody's innocent. Nobody. Have a good night, gentlemen. Enjoy your party. The party. Walks away. And Matt can sense that she's up there. He already knows she's beautiful in her dress, and she does look gorgeous in her dress. Goes up there, slowly walks to her. They have a dance, and she has him take the sunglasses off. Some people are critical about, well, not by me. I like seeing your face. And Nacho is watching his daughter dance with watching Electra and Matt dance. Her father's watching. He's like, she looks beautiful. I never seen her this way ever since her mother was killed. He's like, and then he puts a red rose in his side check. He's like, bye, old friend. You know, and Nachos realizes that Kingpin might be up to something, but it's already too late though, because Bullseye Kills this biker, who's actually, I think, Frank Miller. Steals this motorcycle. Nacho tries to get out of here, and Electra knows, like, something's happening, tells Matt. One guy tells her to wait, and she punches the guard in the face. That was funny. And Matt goes as Daredevil, realizing that she might be in trouble. He's like, New York is not a safe place for us to be tonight. That's why we gotta get out. We gotta get out of here, Electra. But it's a little too late because Bullseye's on their trail already. Bullseye's doing this, which is a cool move. He's standing up on the bike. He his weapons and throws it at the security guards, and it hits their throat, kills them. And before Bullseye can make his kill, Daredevil pops and shows up, just jumps down, sees Daredevil, and Bullseye sees Daredevil, like, and throws the weapon at him. And Daredevil moves back. He's like, Bullseye's like, I missed. I never miss. Just throw him over the motorcycle. Daredevil does the jump kick, runs up, kicks him, runs him out like this. He's like, and then he picks up Daredevil's baton, his belly club, he's like this. Drop something? And Daredevil's like, before he tries to throw it, to throw his target to kill Nicholas Nachos. Daredevil tries to catch it, but the car, I forgot, landed, the gasoline's out, it blows up. The limousine, or truck blows up or whatever. Daredevil can't see because of the explosion, so he misses the baton. And right away, the baton goes right and kills Trek, so Nacho in the heart kills him. And, Jennifer Gardner, although sure is upset, she's thinking that it was Daredevil that did this. So she gets a gun, one of his guards gonna start shooting at Daredevil. And he gets away, but she believes that Daredevil was the one responsible for her father's death, and he's crying. And Matt goes home, takes off his mask, and throws his stuff around in anger, feeling it's his fault that he couldn't, save the woman of his life, the woman that he loved her. He couldn't save her father, that he failed to do it. He's like, and he goes to the father, like, "You were right, father. My secret justice got somebody killed." I guess that's what it means. And then you have funeral, and Matt's like, "I know how you're feeling. I know you don't understand how I feel. Yes, I do." He's like, "I want revenge." He's like, "Revenge won't take the pain away, Electra. It won't. Trust me." Because he's been through this with his own father dying, so he can understand her father was murdered by a criminal, like his father was, really murdered and innocent, you know. But Electra's so focused on revenge. He's like, "Electra, just stay with me." But she refuses and sees her in the rain one more time. And he knows it's Daredevil. He's got to track Bullseye down and stop him from telling anybody else, I guess. But Electra said on her revenge, you get the, "Wake Me Up" song when she is got her katanas, when she's attacking the sandbag and stuff, and has a picture of one of Daredevil's. Oh, frozen. Looks at that picture of herself, saying that what she's becoming, an assassin, but this time just out for revenge. This is the start of her becoming an assassin. Bullseye's out tonight. Daredevil was out too. Daredevil was searching around, for his radar center, looking for Bullseye. And his laundry, these laundry shirts are out, and he's just searching and looking. And then Alicia shows up. She's like, "Remember me?" And he's like, "I didn't kill your father. It was an assassin named Bullseye." He's like, "Liar!" You know. She has jumped to another building, but Alicia jumps to the building too. She proves her toughness. She puts up a good fight, and she like throws her kind of due to his head, misses like right here, good shot. And then she's able to grab the knife, just do a flip back, grab it, and stab Daredevil. She's like, "I want to look into the man's eyes." He was like, Daredevil was like, "No, no." She takes off his mask and realizes it's Matt Murdock. And she realizes he's Matt. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." He's like, cries and is like, "I tried to protect you. I'm sorry, I failed." But then Bullseye shows up whistling, and when Bullseye tracks her down, gets to Alexa is like, "Come on, baby, let's go." And she's like, "He's got to pay for what he's done." He's like, "No, he's a good assassin." No, and Matt just can do nothing but watch since he's been stabbed here. He can't really do anything. So Alexa tries to take him on. She doesn't do very well. Matter of fact, she does horrible. She tries to fight him. Daredevil, with Bullseye was a have the katana him, but he's able to get her moves every time. Knocked her out pretty good. He's like, me baby, I'm magic. He's able, I forgot to mention, she tries to throw a katana at him. He catches it, she throws it back, she tries to catch it, but it ends up in her, like, pulls it out of her hand. But eventually she loses the fight. You know, she's down and out, cut, a few cuts, and he's gonna, for a final blow, he grabs her, chokes her, gives her katana, she's like, and Bullseye's son is like, he's like, in for my next trick. Stabs her. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, Bullseye went to Kingpin later. He's like, Kingpin's like, how did you get past my security? That guy? Easily. It was like, a man in integrity is a man is his own downfall or something like that. And Bullseye said he made me miss. But to Bullseye, that's personal because he always prefers to hit his target, to kill his target. And when Daredevil made a miss, for him that was personal, so it made him mad. He's like, first, Electra, not yours first. He's like, okay, kill her off first. He's like, and Kingpin, Wilson Fisk asked, Kingpin asked him, but how do you kill a man? Putting the fear in him. He's like, first thing I want is a bloody costume. But then they go into night, like I said, Electra gets killed. That's where boys go with everywhere in my reviews. Sorry. But he stabs Electra, kills her. Daredevil walks to her side. Matt does. And he can hear her heartbeat, and her heart stops. She dies. He's like, surprised, but he has to get out of there. The cops show up and see Electra's body. She does come back to life in the spinoff. Matt goes to, you see what the beginning was, where he's at the church, where he's at the, you know, hanging onto the cross, passed out. What was I showing to find was like this? Next one's for you. He was like, let's get it on, Daredevil. And Matt's like, have faith, Father, because his mask on. I don't think, Bullseye really gives a crap who he is behind the mask anyway. Because there's no Matt Murdock, so he probably doesn't even care. Anyways, like this, me and you. Bullseye says, me and you. Picks up like it's a pay ties for the church. He picks this one up and he throws something that has his neck. Daredevil chases him. He climbs up the tower. Starts climbing up the bell tower. And they fight a little bit. And as Daredevil out over the tower, well, not the tower, but one of the bells, and Daredevil was able to use his baton like to grab him. Yeah. They're choking each other's necks, and all of a sudden these bats fly out, which I guess a future will be for him, to kill. He'll be Batman in the future. I guess that's what it's telling us about Matt Murdock, about Ben Affleck's future as Batman. But they fight a little more. He begins to realize his weakness, the sound vibrations, when he tries to hit him with something, and it hits the bells. He's like, and there's, you know, they climb up more to the tower. Daredevil, was a trusted. He uses his weapons at him. Here's a grab one, and he knows that he has one left. So he gets Daredevil, snap it from him. Daredevil hits him, swings in, and hits him. And he's like, oh, this, you know, and then he uses a backflip in case this glass, picks up all this glass, and then tries to hit Daredevil with it. And so instead, he rings the bell. The weekend Daredevil was like, now that I know your weakness, I can take you down. I was like, let's do another pay. So swing it, hitting stuff. Oh, and then knocks Daredevil is like this. He's like, Kingpin is wasn't Fisk is the Kingpin, and he's like, yeah, he is. Yeah, he hired me to kill Electra, Electra's father, this not you, not you, and Electra. But I tell him I do you for free. He's like this. The whole Red Rose thing, not my thing. And then Daredevil, Kingpin says, what says the Daredevil? I'm gonna get you now, kill you now. He's like this. He's like about to find a boy. He's like the devil is mine. I'm about to kill him. So, there's cops that show up, snipers that show up. and they shoot, and Daredevil can hear the bullet, and it was able to Daredevil was able Bullseye moreover, and Bullseye gets shot in the hand. He's like, ugh, he took my head, have mercy. And Daredevil picks him up and throws him outside the window. He doesn't die. He falls on Ben Arch's car, but he gets really injured. And Daredevil's like, Bullseye. And the city see Daredevil in the sky, coming to the next building, going to take down Kingpin. And then the father of the priest says, good luck, son. Yeah. Determined to avenge Elektra and his father, and her father, of course, Matt ambushes Fisk in his office. Fisk knows he's coming. Fisk is like, Wesley, go away. This is something you wouldn't understand. Takes off his jacket, takes off his suit, basically, but not, with a white tank top shirt on, just getting ready for a fight. And, it's Daredevil, Walker Daredevil, and they're facing each other like, Daredevil, he's like, Kingpin. Daredevil gets ready to attack him. Kingpin grabs him, like, pushes him over, picks Daredevil up, headbutts him, pushes him up to the ceiling, and then picks Daredevil up. Like a rag doll knocks him out. He's like this. I was like, it's a shame you came here wounded, Daredevil. Kingpin's like, it's a shame you came here wounded. I would have loved to fight you in your prime. He's like, he's like, they call you the man without fear. Why are you so afraid to show your face? And he takes his mask off and he laughs. He's like, the blind lawyer Matt Murdock from Hell's Kitchen. I can't believe it. You know. And Matt says, you killed the only two people I ever loved. You know, why? And Kingpin says, business. That's all it ever was, business. Your father, I was working for Fallon at the time. Your father was supposed to throw a fight, but he didn't. So that's why I did it. Business. And Electra, she was in the wrong family at the wrong time. And he realizes that he can somewhat level the playing field. And before Kingpin can, get him with a stick, Gilfine was like, and you've been in my business for too long. And he's about to hit him, but he hits the rain. And Daredevil lets him hit the rain, lets all the rain come in. That way he levels the playing field for his foe, for his enemy. Because so he makes Kingpin blind. So Kingpin can't fight because he's got all this rain in, and the rain can blind you. So it's kind of like if you're driving in a motorcycle, rain is hitting in your face, you barely can't see. So he's blind too. So Daredevil can see clearly in the rain. He tries to attack Daredevil. Daredevil punches him, gives him a few punches. You know, sneaks up under him, kicks him in the legs, and Daredevil Kingpin's like, he's like, Matt about ready to get his revenge. He was like this. I've been waiting for this day for a long time. He was about to hit him, kill him with his stick. He was like, I'm not the bad guy. He's like, you got that right, man. I was like, but you're gonna go to jail anyway. It's like they're coming for you, sirens. He's like, no, they're coming. Words out on the Kingpin. I can hear it from here. You know, you can tell because of his radar sense. I tell him who you are. Yeah, tell the guys I records how you got beat by a blind man. Yeah, they'll think you're crazy. And Amos says, don't worry, I'll be out. And Daredevil was like, Matt's like, I know, and I'll be waiting. Then he throws the stick. He's like, justice has been served. And he walks away. Kingpin has this laugh. It's like this, laughing. It's not over with you. It's not over with you. It's not over with the Daredevil. Then he got the music playing. And then he's laughing. Then, the music there, and then you see Matt go to his father's grave with the red rose and says, it's for you, Dad. Then sometime later, after Lester's death, he visits the roof of the apartment where the two they share their first kiss. He finds her necklace, maybe that she might still be alive, which of course, yeah, realizing that there is faith out there still. You know, Ben Arch is about to write an article on him about being Daredevil, but changes his mind, realizing that Daredevil's efforts have improved the city. Even though he's a vigilante, but he seeks justice, and Daredevil was a good guy. He's the good guy. He's a vigilante, can be brutal, but he's doing good. He's bringing justice. And he's the only one who can with his senses. He's the only one that is doing the right thing here. And he realizes that, and he's like, you know, he sees him on the mat on top of the rooftop. As Daredevil's like, go get him, Matt. At least I was like, he's like this. He's like, I spend the night out watching, Ghost Kitchen, like as a guardian devil, and then him coming off the rooftop and using his baton to fly over there. And then the movie ends there. But then you get an end credit scene a little bit where a heavily bandaged bullseye awakens in his heavily guarded hospital room, and he sees this syringe and he hits it with a fly. This bullseye, bullseye. And after winning, then the movie ends there. Let me see if I can read a quote or two from this movie. I had lost my sight, but I got something back in return. My remaining four senses function with superhuman sharpness. But most amazing of all, my sense of sound gave it for a kind of radar sense. High above the city streets, I trained my body and my senses in accurate balance. Hell Kitchen is my neighborhood. I prowl the rooftops of alleys at night, watching from the darkness, forever in darkness. You don't know how I feel. I want revenge. I want to look in the eyes of my father's killer as he dies. I missed. I never missed. I want a bloody husband. You're good, baby. I'll give you that. But me, I'm magic. Man without fear. Looks like I found something you're afraid of. Let's bring on the pain. The press want a kingpin, so I'll give him a kingpin. Give me bullseye. Nobody's innocent. Nobody. The soon came here wounded. Would love to fight you in your prime. They call you the man without fear. You're afraid to show your face. See, I can spin them all. I don't work for you no more, Fallon. It's like you never stopped. Do you really think you want all those fights on your own? You're 42 years old. Miller, Mac, Business, they're all my fighters, just like you. Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. Been away since my last. What the hell are you paying at, Matt? You didn't come here for forgiveness. You came for permission. We can't give you that. Justice isn't a sin, Father. No, but vengeance is. You see it every day on the street. Violence breeds more violence. Is that how you want to live your life? The Lord in the day and then judge and jury by night? Is that what you want? Somebody has to do something, but why you? Because I can. Because I'm not afraid. Well, I'm afraid for you, Matthew. I look at a man without fear as a man without hope. May God have mercy on you for your sins and grant you everlasting life. Amen. I'm not too crazy about the outfit either. Your client, Mr. Lee, he made his payment today. That's great. You should be very happy. Yeah, he paid us in the flick fish. Did you do that? But because I sure as hell didn't. Mr. Lee's a good man, and he doesn't have a lot of money. He was fishing on the weekends, so I guess that's yeah. I go salsa dancing on the weekends, but I don't shake my ass to pay my phone bill. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I think that's all the dialogue I'll read. Nice to meet you, huh? I didn't get your name. I didn't give it. All right. Well, that'll end the review here. But yeah, that's Daredevil, the theatrical version. Let me give my final opinion on this movie. The theatrical version of Daredevil, not the director's cut. Before I get into issues I have with it, I'll get to my positives. First of all, I love this movie. Either version I still love. I do say the director cut is a lot better because this film definitely should be rated R, not PG-13. Again, they probably did it because of X-Men and Spider-Man. They were PG-13 and they were successful. So maybe the studio was just interfered a little bit and think, no, we need to cut the R stuff out. That's just not going to work. It just could have been for that time. They're probably thinking, well, this isn't Blade. Blade does kill, and Blade is all about vampires, and it's kind of horror, so has a good reason to be rated R. But Daredevil isn't, I would say, an anti-hero. He's a superhero, a hero still, but more like a vigilante. But so that's probably why. But still, despite that, the movie does have a good story. I like how Matt Murdock's history, that his father. You do feel sorry. I did feel sorry for him. It does make you feel sorry for the character that he goes blind by accident. That it gives him these abilities. His father gets murdered. You know, just for no reason, just because he didn't want to throw a fight, just for no reason. So it's a good reason for him to seek justice and to help others. And he does it because he doesn't want anybody else to lose anybody they love like he did. That's the way I see it. And Electra is a different reason. She does kill, will become an assassin, I believe, because her father was murdered. by an assassin, and she wanted revenge, and that revenge gets in her heart and makes her a cold-blooded killer. You know, but I do think Elektra can be a bit of a hero herself, but I do think in the comics she does fully become an assassin. But you can see why she lost both her parents in a horrific way. I mean, so did Daredevil, but Daredevil had to hold that back. But Elektra does not hold back, I don't think, like Daredevil. They're somewhat in the same, but it's kind of like Batman and Catwoman in a way, differently. But both their parents were killed by villains, by mobsters, for innocent. But again, they do a great job. You know, their chemistry, they really have good chemistry. You know, I did buy them being in love. You know, Bullseye's a great character. I like that he always hits his mark, that he's always obsessed with his name, loves being who he is, and he's a good villain. That's determined to kill Daredevil. And like Michael Clark Duncan, I don't care that he's black. He was great. He was fantastic. Watch The Green Mile with Tom Hanks. He was great in that movie. He was a great actor. He was great as Kingpin in my opinion. I'm sure Vincent D'Onofrio is good, but I will always say my favorite live action Kingpin in live action is Michael Clark Duncan. I think he does a great job putting on the act. I like the whole Red Rose thing. When he kills somebody. Even Kingpin doesn't do that in the comics. I don't care. He does a great job playing the guy that's, philanthropist, a legit businessman. But as the Kingpin, he's really a criminal, controlling organizations and stuff. It controls the criminal underworld and is responsible for, you know, Matt's father's murder and Alexa's father murder too. So that's what basically he is, a murderer. But it's got a good story. You know, some of the movie. Well, before I get to any problems, Ben Affleck. I think the cast: Ben Affleck, Jennifer Gardner, and Michael Duncan and Comfort. They all do a great job in their parts. They're all. It seems like they all work their asses off just to do this movie. I think Martin Johnson did a good job directing, and the script is good too. And the music by Graham Reveal. I love the music score. The editing is a little choppy in places, especially, the bar scene where Daredevil was fighting some man, but the rest of it's pretty good. The editing will be fine. The action scene, when it's there, it's good. It's cool to see Daredevil to use his baton, his billy club to fight bad guys or to swing in the air or whatever, when he's around the city jumping. That's cool. Showing that Daredevil was a very good acrobat. Music score is good. The editing cinematography is good. I love the look of New York City, of the Hell's Kitchen. So really, and the nighttime scene is really good. And it does feel like a dark movie, yeah. The score is really good. The music soundtrack is awesome. They gave a good soundtrack to the movie. Yeah, it might not have been a huge hit, but it did make money, so it wasn't a huge flop. Yeah. I know Daredevil got rebooted. Now, getting onto my problems, though, it does have a good story. It does have good action scenes. The cast is really good. The action. It is a very entertaining movie. But the problems, here are my problems. The movie should have been rated R. Should have had more blood and gore in there a little bit. You could have added 103 minutes long. Yeah, it does feel like it does go by at a really fast pace. The movie feels like the story's kind of, it does feel a little rushed. The story does. It feels like it goes by really quick. You could have just, they definitely, director's cut, they do put the 30 minutes back in, which I think you needed, you know, to add more in your story. Superman the movie was long, but the thing is, Superman the movie wasn't that great. Is that they took their time with the story, the origin. They took time with everything, you know. But sometimes it's not. I don't blame Mark Steven Johnson. I don't blame the cast or anything. I don't blame the people who made this movie. I could blame the studio because they probably were rushing them to make this movie because they could have rushed it just a little bit, rushed maybe because they see dollar signs. Because it was that time you had Blade. Think about it, folks. Blade, X Men, 2000, Spider Man 2002. Those movies made money. So studios just they want the milk. They want that money. So they're gonna rush every comic book character out there just to make their cash. And it's still an entertaining movie. It is a lot better than some of the MCU movies, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I could watch this over Eternals. I could watch this over the Venom movies. I'll watch it over the new one. I would definitely watch this over Madam Web any day. You say this movie is one of the worst. Now I'm like, go see Madam Web. Go see Morbius. Yeah, those films have a budget, but they suck. Even Madam Web, even if it does have it still sucks. It's definitely better than Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. I would rather watch Batman and Robin over I'd rather watch Batman and Robin over this, even though I like that movie. I'd rather pick Daredevil, but that's just me. I'd rather watch this over the Dark Knight trilogy. Oh, I know I said it's a bad thing. Even the director's cut too. I'd watch. So yeah, and I will say some of the CGI effect shots don't hold up very well. But again, they did not hold up very well in X Men or Spider Man 2. But it was the 2000s, so CGI was just kind of becoming a thing then. So I don't really blame the filmmakers on that. A little more of Daredevil in action would have been nice, you know. Doesn't feel like he got a lot of screen time. He does get about screen time toward the climax, but I just wanted to see more of Daredevil in action, taking on more bad guys. That would have been awesome. Like we saw in Daredevil versus Spider-Man cartoon talk about, you see quite a bit of that, you know. I always want to see Daredevil in action and kicking ass, you know. Because the interesting thing about it, most of his enemies don't know that he's blind, you know. That's what makes it interesting. And he can level the playing field like he did with Kingpin. That was definitely an awesome scene. Yeah. But the film could have been a little more longer. You could have kept those 30 minutes in here. And you can make the film rated R. They should have done that in the first place. But thankfully, they fixed that with the director's cut that the studio messed up. Wouldn't have to. The studio, you know, had any balls, but, you know, that's just me. That's the way I see it. Some of the CGI effects, story. You could have maybe. Well, you know, I didn't like Electra being here at first, but I do like Electra being. I do think her and Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner, they have great chemistry. They actually believe they got married after this movie. They did really fall in love, and I buy it. You know, and again, she does a fantastic job, I think, in my opinion. Yeah. Did you really need to kill Electra to do the spinoff? No. You could at least kept her alive or just have her become Electra in a sequel. That would have kind of made more sense to wait for a sequel. You know, you could have just had a sequel to do, but as the movie didn't make a big money, they didn't do it. And I guess, but they may have known to do a spinoff. And this is definitely better than Electra 2005 or better than Catwoman from 2004. I'd probably watch this over Annalise Hulk, but that's just me. That film is long and boring. This film did not bore me at all. The story is interesting, and I like the character of Daredevil. Definitely an underrated Marvel character. He deserves another shot on the big screen. If I want a TV show or a cameo, but I want a Daredevil movie, you know, another movie. He deserves it, you know. But I know Ben Affleck would never come back as Daredevil, but that's a shame. To me, he is Daredevil. He did a great job. You know, good movie, definitely underrated. Now, next, hopefully, if I can do another review today. But I'll be done here, folks. Hold on. Next, I will be reviewing Daredevil. This is the director's cut. Sorry. I got this on Blu-ray from Walmart. Yeah, they had a lecture to on Blu-ray, but I'm like, I'm not wasting my money on that piece of shit movie. You know. And the thing is, this version though is rated R, I believe, too, right? Shit. It's 133 minutes long, so it's a bit slightly longer, which is good. Yep. Really cool poster here, Daredevil. That I have the director's cut on Blu-ray. So yes, it is rated R, which it should have been in the first place. But Daredevil, the director's cut, that'll be next. So stay tuned for that. This is just the slipcover. Yeah. But definitely gonna talk about Daredevil next. As the director's cut. I hope you all enjoyed my review of the theatrical version of Daredevil. I had to review this too because it's still a superhero movie. It still counts. So either version is still a superhero film. But my rating, y'all, for the Daredevil the theatrical version, I'm gonna give this 4 to 5 stars and a thumbs up. So tell me guys in the comments down below, what do you think of the Daredevil theatrical version? Do you prefer the director's cut like I do, or do you still like this movie? What do you think of this film and as a whole, in your personal opinion? I still enjoy it. I do think Direct is better, but I do think this is still a good, underrated movie, in my opinion. But it's time to almost pay the devil his due again. So I'll see you guys in my review for Daredevil, the director's cut. So stay tuned for that next. All right, see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.